everybody, Paloma here, and welcome to my new video. Today I'll be discussing finding the time to practice your dance. Now, in an ideal world, you have your day or your week perfectly scheduled and nothing comes to interrupt what you've programmed for yourself. However, I find that that's not typically the case. The universe doesn't tend to work in harmony with your plans, and often that time that you had set aside to practice disappears. Maybe it's for a day, sometimes it goes on for days, weeks, suddenly it becomes months. So I want to discuss ways that I've managed to make sure that I get my dance practice in between different slots throughout the day, whatever works best for that day, and how to get the best of technique as well as properly stretching out your body. So when you're only dealing with being able to squeeze in about 15-20 minutes, maybe half an hour in your day for dance, it can seem a little bit daunting to know that you should really be squeezing in some pre and post stretching as well. And that should take anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes for each. So suddenly you're looking at 10 to 20 minutes of stretching when you only had about 20 minutes to half an hour programmed into being able to squeeze in that dance practice. So I just want to go over about the importance of stretching and why you really shouldn't be skipping it. So the pre-stretching before you start dancing is really important to start to waken up your body, right? You don't want to go from being stiff, whether it's just from having woken up from bed or from coming home from work, with your body stiff and tense, and then going straight into trying to do these beautiful, flexible movements. You can really hurt yourself. You're playing a little bit of Russian roulette with your body. Sometimes you get away with it. Sometimes you can jump right into the dance and nothing will happen. Fantastic if that's the case. But you can seriously hurt yourself as well. And to avoid that, you really should stretch beforehand. Similarly, you should really stretch afterwards too, because now you've made your body engaged, it's been energized, it's been stretched out, and you don't want to leave it in that state and just go back to your day's to-dos. It's like when you're really cold and you're tense for hours, and you go home and you realize that your body really hurts, right? It's from having been clenched for so long, and you're suddenly releasing, and you realize how sore you are. And that's what can happen with your body if you just skip the stretching at the end and go back to living your day after having engaged it, after having really pulled it for different positions. So that being the case, you really don't want to skip your stretching, but it's really hard when you don't have a lot of time to practice your dance to start with. And that's why what I've been doing forever is really something that I call for myself a dance stretch. And what that is, it's combining in a few minutes both stretching my body out gradually and also practicing some dance technique. So I always start with this, from working from my head all the way down my body till I get to my feet. And I'll put on a song. Sometimes, definitely it takes at least 2 songs. If I'm being really slow and I have a bit more time, 3 songs or more, whatever fits your schedule. And the idea is that you're going around and you're doing stretches to get your body engaged, start waking it up for the movements you're about to put it through. And you're also doing 2 other things that can help you in your dance practice. It can help you with improvisation if you choose to do a different song every time, which is what I typically do. I just go on shuffle and see what music comes up, and I start stretching and dancing to that. And at least in my case, it's never the same thing twice, so it really engages my brain for attuning to improvisation, which I mentioned in my previous post is really a significant aspect to traditional belly dance. So it's a nice way to slowly get involved in improvising every single time you hear a song, even if it's the same song. Contrarily, if you're somebody who likes a routine and you like to do the same thing, the same stretching, the same dance technique, you can create a choreography of sorts to the same song, or at least the same movements repeated throughout your body. What's really fantastic about this approach is that it fits into your schedule. Maybe you have more time in the morning to fit in a few songs to do your dance stretch. Maybe it's right after work. Maybe it's before bedtime. Maybe you have a few places in the day that you can squeeze in a song or two. It's really meant to be able to adjust to you and what you're capable of fitting in that day. And doing these little bursts of dance stretches throughout the day is better, I feel, than not getting around to doing any of it at all. Another thing is that you can constantly adjust it to your body. If you've pulled something, if something particularly hurts, you can make that the focus of your dance stretch. Maybe you've got a really sore shoulder, so you can do a lot of emphasis on working and stretching that out so it's less painful for you and it's a bit easier to engage when you're trying to practice your dance. On another note, you can also choose to focus on body parts that you know you'll be using. So if you know ahead of time what dance technique you'll be practicing, you can prepare your stretching for those body parts. So if you're going to be doing a lot of chest work, then you can focus your stretching from everything from your hips up, right? So the idea is to really make it quick, accessible, and adjustable to your needs for that day. So, two things. What I'll be showing you right after this little spiel is an example of what a dance stretch can look like. So the song I've chosen is a slower one. So it'd be a perfect routine, for example, for first thing in the morning or just right before bed when you're waking your body up or gradually getting it ready for relaxation and sleep. You can try to follow along if you'd like. There is a lot of repetition because the idea is that I'm stretching out my body while at the same time dancing, right? So you'll notice it's not necessarily the same thing over and over again in certain parts. It will be. Secondly, the next video I'll be doing is an actual follow along. So I'll prepare a dance stretch and you can choose to follow along right away with that one. However, I will also make subsequent videos to go with that dance stretch that will break down the individual movements and be a dance stretch in itself for each part. So I hope you'll join me with this. I hope you manage to find that precious time for your dance. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for your time.